Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Ram Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare,
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
जय
Ram
श्री कृष्ण
Ram
चैतन्य
Hare
प्रभु
Hare Hare
नित्यानंद
Krishna Hare
श्री
Krishna
अद्वैत
Krishna Hare
गदाधर
Hare
श्रीवासादि
Hare
गौरभक्त
Ram
वृंद
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Hare
कृष्ण
Ram
कृष्ण
Hare
कृष्ण
Ram
हरे
Krishna
Ram
हरे
Ram
Krishna
हरे
Hare
राम
Hare
हरे
Hare
राम
Krishna
राम
Hare
राम
Krishna
हरे
Krishna Krishna
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
Hare
कृष्ण
Ram
Krishna
हरे
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
हरे
Krishna
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे हरे
Hare
Krishna
राम
Krishna
Krishna
राम
Krishna
राम
Hare
Krishna
हरे
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
हरे
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण हरे हरे
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
राम राम
Ram
हरे
Hare
हरे
Krishna
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण
Krishna
हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna Hare
हरे
Hare
राम
Hare
हरे
Ram
राम
Ram
राम
Ram Ram
राम
Hare
हरे
Hare Hare Krishna
हरे
Hare
कृष्ण हरे
Krishna
Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे
Krishna
हरे
Krishna Hare
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 Ram Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram Ram Hare
Shri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu
Hare Krishna
Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi
Hare
Gaura
Ram
Bhaktivinoda
Ram
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare.
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Rama
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare.
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama
Ram
Rama
Ram,
Rama
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Rama
Ram,
Krishna
Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare.
Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare
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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Rama
Hare Hare.
Rama Rama
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare,
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare,
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram Hare
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 Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Jai
Hare,
Krishna
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 Chaitanya Prabhu
Krishna,
Nityananda
Hare Ram
Sri
Hare Ram
Hare
Advaita
Ram
Ram,
Gadadhara
Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Srivas
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Adi
Hare
Krishna
Gaura
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Shri
Ram
Radhe Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Radhe
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Dam Dam Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Dam
Krishna,
Dam Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Dam
Hare
Dam Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram Dam
Krishna,
Dam Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram
Dam
Ram,
Dam
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Dam Dam
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Dam
Ram,
Dam Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Dam Dam Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Dam
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Dam
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram Dam
Hare
Dam
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Dam
Hare
Dam Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Dam
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Shri
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Chaitanya
Krishna, Hare
Prabhu
Hare,
Nityananda
Ram
Shri
Ram,
Advaita
Hare
Gadadhara
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Shivasati Gaur
Krishna
Bhaktivinoda
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare. Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram Hare
Hare,
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram.
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram, Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna.
Ram, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Ram Ram.
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
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 Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Hare, Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Ram,
Ram Ram
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna 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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Ram Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Chaitanya
Hare
Prabhu
Ram
Nityananda
Hare
Shri
Hare
Advaita
Hare Krishna Hare
Gadadhar
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Shivasadi
Hare
Gaura
Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Hare Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna. Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare 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 Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Ram
Hare Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram 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 Hare
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 Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare Krishna Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna 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 Hare
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 Ram
Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Hare
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 Ram
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 Hare
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna.
Hare Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Krishna.
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Hare.
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
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 Hare.
Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Ram
Krishna
Hare Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama
Krishna. Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare Ram,
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Shri
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare 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 Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna.
Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram Ram
Ram,
Hare
Ram, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna.
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Hare Hare Ram Krishna 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 Hare Ram
Krishna
Ram 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 Hare
Chaitanya
Hare
Prabhu
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So we'll read Srimad Bhagavatam. Is this the correct chapter? We are on chapter 19. Is that? Or did we finish the last chapter?
What was the last chapter?
Maharaj Parikshit cursed by a Brahmana boy. Did we read all the verses? We read all the verses.
Yeah, we read this.
Okay, so next. So Maharaj Parikshit has garlanded Samik Rishi, Shringi has cursed, and Samik Rishi is saying he did not congratulate his son, but he said, "Oh, what a great sinful act was performed by my son. For a small offense, he has given such a heavy punishment." And he chastised this. You're immature, you don't know. Okay. And Maharaj Parikshit is going to lament. Before he said, well, was the sage really in trance or was he like feigning? And then now in this chapter 19, okay, we'll read how he feels. And
That's true. The appearance of Shukdev Goswami. Sri Sutta Goswami said, while returning home, the king Maharaj Parikshit felt that the act he had committed against the faultless and powerful Brahmana was heinous and uncivilized. Consequently, Consequently, he was distressed. So he's repenting. He thinks that he has committed a very big mistake. King Parikshit thought, due to my neglecting the injunctions of the Supreme Lord, I must certainly expect some difficulty to overcome me in the near future. I now desire, without reservation, that the calamity come now. For in this way I may be freed of the sinful action and not commit such an offense again. So he's understanding that he has committed a sinful act, so he will get a reaction to it, and he's desiring that the reaction come, so that I will be freed from this sinful reaction and I will not commit this again. I am civilized.
Yeah, sometimes the reaction comes in the next life, right? And you don't know for what reason you're getting punished. So maybe if if the reaction comes immediately, then you know, okay, this is the punishment I'm getting for the sin I committed, right? Is that because if
Yeah.
it is postponed, then sometimes people ask that why Krishna is punishing me and I don't know what I did wrong. But what is the answer to that question? Sometimes people say, right, I'm being punished for something that I don't know what is wrong. So how can I be actually I can rectify myself? Because it was in last life, and last life I don't remember. So what is the answer?
The original offense that we have done to Krishna is we wanted to come to this material world to enjoy independently from him, right? And from that offense, all other offenses happen. So basically, it's my desire to enjoy being the center.
Okay, so that's how. Yeah, and Krishna doesn't want us to just like do right actions and avoid sin and become happy in the material world. He just wants us to surrender to Him. So He has made it like that. And so, because if we like sometimes we know I did this sin, now I should not do it, but you can't help doing the sin again if your heart is not purified. So it is not really atonement is not really the solution
Solution.
to the problem. Also, although he's saying
Purification of
that,
heart.
yeah, he's saying that, okay, when I get reaction, I'll become free from sin, but and not commit such an offense again. So, yeah, when you are punished, then you may think, yeah, I will not do it again. But sometimes we know we are punished, we are getting suffering, but we do the same thing again, right? So Krishna wants us to surrender.
That's the bathing of an elephant example.
Okay, next verse.
I am uncivilized and sinful due to my neglect of Brahmanical culture, God consciousness, and cow protection. Therefore, I wish that my kingdom, strength, and riches burn up immediately by the fire of Brahmana's wrath, so that in the future I may not be guided by such inauspicious attitudes. He is becoming very hard on himself. I'm very sinful. I have neglected to give respect to the Brahmanas and cow. So let everything be burned to ashes, like my kingdom, my strength, my riches.
Yeah, I don't deserve anything. He's repenting very much. Like, let everything be taken away from me. I don't need anything. I did such a bad action. Okay.
While the king was thus repenting, he received news of his imminent death, which would be due to the bite of a snake bird, occasioned by the curse spoken by the sage's son. The king accepted this as good news, for it would be the cause of his indifference towards worldly things. So he heard that he has been cursed to die, by biting of the snake, and he took it as, okay, this is good, because now it is my opportunity to detach myself from this world. And
Like that story of Tukaram that you were telling yesterday, right, in the class. That person became indifferent to whether, because he was going to die in 7 days, Tukaram told him. So it didn't matter to him, right, whether somebody was praising him, somebody was insulting him, because now so you become indifferent when you know you have to leave the world in a short time. Then whatever happens, you don't care too much, because anyway you have to leave everything and go. So material things, no. So this is good. This is good, right? To become callous to all the material arrangements and material things, so that you can completely be absorbed in spiritual life. Yeah. So I was thinking this is good.
yeah, although I mean he's being given a notice, but we should be like that, right? So like Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj says, die before dying, right? So e- even though we may not have been given a death notice, we should be indifferent now only. And that is Maharaj Parikshit teaching us. Because
Yeah.
Prabhupada says that he was given the notice that he's going to die in 7 days. We don't know if he's going to die in 7 days, 7 minutes. Yeah. We are
Yeah.
in the same
Generally, it doesn't
situation.
happen. Generally, it doesn't happen, right? Like, um, because Maya, actually, it should be like that, right? That death is coming, so I should chant Hare Krishna very sincerely. But generally, our consciousness is not, we don't give up all desires for material enjoyment until actually it happens. I mean, there are some exceptions. I'm not saying some devotees like that, and those who are those who can see the future, yeah, what's coming up, all this birth, death, old age, disease, and then they can just give up. Like, but if we know that we have got cancer, right, and we have only 6 months to live, let's say, sometimes diagnoses are like that, then so many things, priorities in our life will change. We'll give up all the desires, and then you will not think, oh, should I change my job, and should I, build a new house, or should I plan for this? Where will I invest my money? Where, of course, if you are attached to your family, you worried about your children. Okay, after I die, let me make my will. I'm going to die in 6 months. Let me make my will. I will give the money to my children, or they will get the money. But yeah, if you really feel like that, then there is no question really, right? At the time of death, you will. It's a question of realization. Right? If you actually feel you are going to die in a short time, nothing matters really. So anyway, so that's what I was thinking. But it's difficult to think like that, because our desire for enjoyment is so strong, and even this short life, we think it's a long life. Oh, there's 20, 30 years we are going to live. If somebody says you're going to die in 1 year, oh, it's short. Somebody says, no, no, you're going to live another 30, 35 years. Oh, then we start planning. Okay, 35 years, yeah, 80, 70, that's not bad. And then we start planning. But 30 years or 1 year, in compared to eternity, both are like very small. But that is how we are. In illusion, what is that verse? Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti amalaya. Yeah. Seshastharam ichanti kim ashcharyata param. Like that verse is there. Okay.
Maharaj Parikshit sat down firmly on the banks of the Ganges to concentrate his mind in Krishna consciousness, rejecting all other practices of self-realization, because transcendental loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, superseding all other methods. So he's already pure devotee. And when he got this news, he detached himself from everything, and he's sitting at the banks of the Ganges and fixing his mind on Krishna. Because loving service to Krishna is the greatest achievement, so he already knows that. The river by which the king sat to fast, so he's fasting also, carries the most auspicious water, which is mixed with the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord and tulsi leaves. Therefore, that water sanctifies the three worlds inside and outside, and even sanctifies Lord Shiva and other demigods. Consequently, everyone who is destined to die must take shelter of this river. So Ganges carries because it's Vaman Dev. It came from the feet. It came from touching the feet of Vaman Dev. So it has the dust of lotus feet of the Lord and tulsi leaves, and sanctifies the three worlds and Lord Shiva and demigods. So yeah, we can take shelter of Ganges or Yamuna. I think here Prabhupada, or somewhere in this chapter, he would say Yamuna is 1,000 times more potent than the Ganges.
But even if you live at the bank of Ganga, but if you have no transcendental knowledge, right, then there will be some purification, obviously, but more potent is to meet the
devotees. That's what that verse is, right? One can be sanctified only after bathing for long time in Ganges, but for moments association with devotees, one can be purified. Thus the king, the worthy descendant of the Pandavas, decided once and for all, and sat on the Ganges bank to fast until death, and give himself up to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who alone is able to award liberation. So, freeing himself from all kinds of associations and attachments, he accepted the vows of a sage. That's what I have heard, that we should fast until death. Many are forced to do that because they cannot eat because of the disease. Yeah. So it's in the scriptures. That's the process that he's following. And then, of course, he's attaching himself to the lotus feet of Krishna, giving up all other association of his family members and attachments.
Yeah, mostly people who die, they cannot eat generally when death is coming near, because they are on the ventilator.
That too, but they also say that in old age also, they give up their desire to eat, and then that is where you can identify, okay, their death is coming close. Like, they may be healthy as an old person, but they feel like not eating anymore. In some movie I saw, but this is also true, that you see, eating is, we are very attached to eating. Who can give up eating? Everybody becomes hungry, right? But when the hunger goes away and you don't feel like eating, that's an indication that the death is coming close.
Actually, one of my relatives was saying that when your upper palate in the mouth starts becoming dry, then it's a sign that death is coming closer. So there are certain signs, because digestive system doesn't work. So even if you eat, you can't digest, and there is no appetite also for eating. But sometimes people live long. It's not people are eating less, but they're living longer also.
And at that time, all the great minds and thinkers, accompanied by their disciples and sages who could verily sanctify a place of pilgrimage just by their presence, arrived there on the plea of making a pilgrim's journey. So somehow everybody understood, here is a great person, devotee, king, who is about to leave his body. So let us go and meet him and do something for his benefit. All these sages and their disciples. So, like here also, some devotee is about to leave their body. Everybody goes and meets them, chants Hare Krishna for them. From different parts of the universe, there arrived great sages like Atri, Chavan, Sharadavan, Arishtanemi, Bhrigu, Vashishta, Parashar, Vishwamitra, Angira, Parshuram, Uttaya, Indra, Pramada, Admavahu, Medhatithi, Devala, Ashtisena, Bhardwaj, Gautam, Pipalad, Maitreya, Aurav, Kavasha, Kumbhayoni, Dvaipayana, Vyasdev, and the great personality Narad. So Vyasdev and Narad Muni were also there, but who spoke Srimad Bhagavatam is Shukadev Goswami, although he is much younger in age than all these sages.
So Bhrigu, Vashishta, Parashar, Vishwamitra, Angira, all some names we have heard. And Devala, Asito Devala Vyasa.
So these sages have been there in many yugas, right? They were in Treta Yuga, Vishwamitra, Vashishta, Satya Yuga. So they are like all Chiranjeevi or something.
Living very long. Yeah, from one yuga to another. That's how is it possible? Yeah. Vashishta and Vishwam. Prabhupada has given description of every sage. Okay, yeah. So text 11. Who else? Really wants to read it.
Can I read, Prabhu?
They were also.
Okay. Go ahead. Who wants to read?
Can I read it, Prabhu?
Yeah.
There were also many other saintly demigods, kings, and social royal orders called Arunadayas, a special rank of Rajashis from different dynasties of sages. When they all assembled together to meet the Emperor Parikshit, he received them properly and bowed his head to the ground. After all the rishis and others had seated themselves comfortably, the king, humbly standing before them with folded hands, told them of his decision to fast until death. The fortunate king said, "Indeed, we are the most grateful of all the kings who are trained to get favors from the great souls. Generally, you sages consider royalty as refuse to be rejected and left it in a distant place. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of both the transcendental and mundane worlds, has graciously overtaken me in the form of a Brahmana's curse. Due to my being too much attached to the family life, the Lord, in order to save me, has appeared before me in such a way that only out of fear I will detach myself from the world. O Brahmanas, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul and let Mother Ganges, the representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way, for I have already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. Let the snake bird or whatever magical thing the Brahmana created bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu." Again, offering obeisances to all you Brahmanas, I pray that if I should again take my birth in the material world, I will have complete attachment to the unlimited Lord Krishna, associated with his devotees and friendly relations with all living beings. In perfect self-control, Maharaj Parikshit sat down on a seat of straw with the straw hoods facing the east, placed on the southern bank of the Ganges, and he himself faced the north. Just previously, he had given charge of his kingdom over to his son. Thus the king Maharaj Parikshit sat to fast until death. All the demigods of the higher planets praised the king's actions and in pleasure continually scattered flowers over the earth and beat celestial drums. All the great sages who were assembled there also praised the decision of Maharaj Parikshit, and they expressed their approval by saying, "Very good." Naturally, the sages are inclined to do good to common men, for they have all the qualitative powers of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, they were very much pleased to see Maharaj Parikshit, the devotee of the Lord, and they spoke as follows. The sages said, "O chief of all the saintly kings of the Pandu dynasty, who are strictly in line of the Lord Sri Krishna. It is not at all astonishing that you give up your throne, which is decorated with the helmets of many kings, to achieve eternal association with the personality of Godhead.
Okay. So anything anybody like to say?
Yeah, very nice verses. We see that Parikshit Maharaj is saying that it's Krishna's mercy has come to me in the form of the curse.
To detach
Uh,
me from family life.
mhm,
Because I was too attached to family life, so to detach me. Okay. Other thing is the three things he asks:
mhm, mhm.
love for the Lord, association with devotees, and friendly.
Relationship, or dependence. Also in the verse 15, he's already fearless. He's saying, whatever that snake bird is, it can come bite me. I only desire that you continue to sing the glories of Lord Vishnu. See, this is a devotee, he's a pure devotee already, he's fearless.
So he wants to hear others singing about Vishnu, and in that
Mm,
state he wants to leave the body.
mm. And he's facing north, and this has come multiple times. Like it seems that the north direction is favorable, so they say that we also should be chanting Hare Krishna facing north. Of course, you can be doing devotional service in any direction, but the,
I am facing
it is coming in scriptures that the north direction is more favorable for spiritual advancement.
I'm facing south actually. I'm chanting east.
I think it does not matter. Tatrarpita niyamita smarena kala. There are no rules and regulation. There is no niyam.
I'm facing north actually. Somehow though I'm sitting. I didn't plan, but yeah, because my window this side is east, that is west, and then this side is north. Yes, I'm facing north. So north is the direction of renunciation, right? Because Himalayas are in the north, and everybody goes north. Like the Pandavas also, after retiring, they travel north because that's the Himalayas. Himalayas are where all the great sages and everybody goes. It's a place to renounce, right? So that's why probably north represents renunciation. So you're giving up
Even
all.
Narad Muni traveled north after
Yeah.
his mother died. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. He also traveled north. Okay. So
I don't know it's true or not, but some says that the dead body also placed in the direction of north and south. I don't know.
north or south?
I mean, head should on the north side.
Head should be pointing towards north, right? Is it
North, yeah, yeah.
okay? Or
And
head
but
should be facing north? Or there's two. I always get confused whether head should be pointing towards north or head should be facing. Means if he sees, then in front of him is the north direction, right? So you can clarify me. Yeah, you know. Okay. Sometimes they say you should sleep in a certain direction also.
From what I hear, I think when you wake up, you should not see south because that is Yamaraja's where he resides on the south side. So when your head, if it's in north, when you wake up, you see the south direction. So that's not favorable. Yeah. Um,
mm,
when you wake
that
up,
is
you have to
also,
be, yeah.
yeah, on the north side is Earth's magnetic fields. That is also said. So your head should not be on the north. So when you wake up, you don't see the south also. So both things.
Yeah.
Your
So
head
head.
can be on the south. Your head can be on the south direction. So you wake up and you see the north.
Head should be pointing in south. So you're when you wake up, you see
No, no,
north.
head. No, no, head should be on the south. When you wake up, you see the north,
Yeah. So like facing north.
facing north.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm good. So Because south and north, what they do, they attract. So your body gets stretched. And if it is facing north, then north, your head is north pole. And if you're facing north, it gets likes, repel, and other opposites attract. So you get stretched, your body gets stretched. So it's like you feel relaxed. When you get up, you do like, you stretch yourself, your arms, and like this. It's a relaxed pose, right? That's what they say. And they're facing east is also good, right? Because east is the
Head on the east.
and not
Because you should not be facing east because the sun is rising on the east. So legs should not be pointing towards sun. So your head should be on the east.
I thought when the sunrise happens, then the sun comes and then you wake up because the
Yeah,
sunrays
but
fall directly
they say
on.
that your legs should not be towards the sun. So yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Google also.
Okay.
Best is the head is on the south. Second best is the head is on the east.
And Vastu, they take house which is facing east, right? That's how the or
Facing east, yeah. Correct.
many Indians follow all this. Kitchen should be in this direction. This should be in this direction. DT should be placed here. Yeah, Preeti want to say something.
Hare Krishna, I wanted to say something.
Go ahead.
So, what you all are discussing is part of Vastu only. Vastu is not just direction of the house. Vastu is direction of
The body also.
the temple, the room orientation, the color orientation, the angle of the body you're sleeping in. So this is all part of Vastu. And northeast is where the temple is placed, and that direction is considered the most auspicious. And then around it, certain degrees are included as well. But northeast is where your temple is. So if that's where you have kept your temple, you organically will be looking in that direction.
Okay, so those who are buying a house can think of all these things. Okay, next 21 onwards. I think Preeti wanted to read. Yeah.
Okay. We shall all wait here until the foremost devotee of the Lord Maharaj Parikshit return to the supreme planet, which is completely free from all mundane contamination and all kinds of lamentation. Okay, so all the sages are saying that we will wait. They say that all the sages get this news. That time there is no phone, but they all get the news that the great pure devotee is returning to the supreme planet.
Yeah, they all assembled on the bank of Ganges and they said we will not leave until
Right.
Maharaj Parikshit goes back to Godhead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thanks.
All that was spoken by the great sages was very sweet to hear, full of meaning and appropriately presented as perfectly true. So after hearing them, Maharaj Parikshit, desiring to hear of the activities of Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, congratulated the great sages. So yeah, he wants to hear about the activities of Lord. The king said, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here, having come from all parts of the universe. You are all as good as supreme knowledge personified, who reside in the planet above the three worlds, Satyalok. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others, but for this you have no interest either in this life or in the next. Okay, so the king Parikshit is saying to the sages that you are very knowledgeable and personified, and so you, they're coming from Satyalok, and but for this you have no interest either in this life. Oh, yeah, I mean there's Satyalok, there's a very when age is like they're living very long life, right? um yeah.
Yeah, so this is
Oh,
they're saying that You want to do good to others, so for you, so you don't have any personal interest. I think that's what this
Mm.
last, right? And but for this, you have no interest either in this life or in the next. So they are not. They are just interested in doing good for others, and they are not interested in their own material, maybe situation, to make it better, like that. Is that what it means?
And devotees travel also to giving the knowledge of Krishna, and so by
Yeah.
this way one can continue.
So their whole life is to do good to others. That's what. Okay. Next.
O trustworthy Brahmana, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unallowed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die. So this is a question that first question Maharaj Parikshit is asking, that what is the duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically those who are about just to die. So he is going to die in 7 days. So he's asking about his immediate duty. At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vyastev, who traveled over the earth disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him. So yeah, Sukhdev Goswami, the son of Vyastev, he was traveling and he reached over there, and he is completely in like completely like in his no social order and status of life. Um, we would say that he's completely Atmaram. He is not in the bodily conception of life. Um, Even I think there is a pastime, right? When Sukhdev Goswami was traveling, the women's they don't cover themselves because they think because Sukhdev Goswami is not in the bodily concept of life. But when Vyas they come, they cover themselves because he was in the, of course, he was Grihastha also. Um, yeah. Um, this son of Vyasdev was only 16 years old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and the other parts of the body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully white, and his nose and ears were highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conch shell. So Sukdev Goswami looks very beautiful. Um, His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully stripped. His arms were long, and curly hairs were strewn over his beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of his body reflected that of Lord Krishna. Okay, so his body looks like that. He was traveling naked. He's not wearing clothes because he was not thinking in the bodily. That is a bodily concept of life. So he was just walking like that. He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth. Because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles, he was pleasing to women. Though he tried to cover his natural glories, the great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy, and so they honored him by rising from their seats. So, so he was 16-year old, but he was spiritually very advanced. And so all the sages who were present over there, they they are giving honor to him, and they're rising from their seats. And yeah, so spiritual advancement doesn't depend on the age or any material qualification or in a gender or age or anything. Even so, Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruv Maharaj were just 5 years old, but they were very spiritually inclined. Maharaj Parikshit, who is also known as Vishnu Rat, one who is always protected by Vishnu, bowed his head to receive the chief guest Sukdev Goswami. At that time, all the ignorant women and boys ceased following Shra Sukdev. Receiving respect from all, Sukdev Goswami took his exalted seat. So, Parikshit Maharaj, also called as Vishnu Rat, because he was protected in the womb of his mother Uttara, and so he was protected by Vishnu, so he's called as Vishnu Rat. He received Sukdev Goswami, and so Sukdev Goswami took his seat, and now he's going to spoke. So, yes, 30th. Sukdev Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all. Yes.
Okay. So he was like the moon among all the sages. So next, 31 on.
All the sages looking at him, they understood he's such an elevated personality. It's mentioned that they were expert in the art of physiognomy. What does that mean? I
Means
think
ears are shaped like this, nose is like this,
Mm.
the arms are like this. I think that's what it means. So maybe where is that? We can read the purport.
there's no purport. But I
28.
mean, by looking at some devotee, also we can see the level of advancement of that devotee, how bright faced, and there's some aspects to his appearance that attracts also.
Although they say Vyasdev didn't look very good. That's
And
why
Bhakti Vinod, they tell
who
about
closed
Bhakti
the
Vinod
eyes, right?
Thakur also.
He closed her eyes and Dhritarashtra was born blind.
Yeah.
Who was that when Vyasdev came?
Ambika?
Ambika.
Is
Dhritarashtra.
that Ambika?
Who was the
Yeah.
mother of Dhritarashtra?
Hmm.
He was not looking good.
Ambika.
Ambika. Yeah.
Ambika.
But he may have been very effulgent even though he was not looking good. But he may have been very effulgent. Okay. Yeah, generally Prabhupada said like devotees are bright faced, and so that's what you are saying, right? They are very attractive because they carry Krishna in their heart. Prabhupada was also glowing, right? They say he was glowing, and just by his coming close to him, people would be attracted to him. Okay. So text 31. I can read. The sage Sri Shukdev Goswami sat perfectly pacified, intelligent. So everybody stopped chasing him because what were they doing? All the ignorant women and boys ceased following Srila Shukdev Goswami. Why this? Because he comes in the assembly of the sages. And at that time, they stopped. What were they doing? Why were they following Srila Shukdev Goswami?
They were making fun of him.
Yeah, they're making fun of him.
He was like Avadut because he was naked.
Yeah. So everybody was like mocking him. He was naked, so obviously people thought him as a madman. Somebody goes naked like that, right? And they were ignorant because they could not realize the spiritual advancement of Shukdev Goswami. I think that's what it says, right? It doesn't say about that. The street boys and less intelligent women who followed him were struck with wonder and fear. So everybody is respecting him in the assembly of the sages. So they thought, oh, he must be something very special. Okay, the sage Sri Shukdev Goswami sat perfectly pacified, intelligent, and ready to answer any question without hesitation. So he knew everything. The great devotee, Maharaj Parikshit, approached him, offered his respects by bowing before him, and politely inquired with sweet words and folded hands. The fortunate King Parikshit said, O Brahmana, by your mercy only you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage. All by your presence here as my guest. By your mercy, we who are but unworthy royalty become eligible to serve the devotee. So it is our great fortune that you have somehow appeared here, although we are very unqualified, but you have come here. It's your mercy. So we are going to become fortunate. Simply by our remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. So if you remember the pure devotee, it's as good as remembering Krishna. Because you will remember pure devotee and his activities, which are all in relation with Krishna, how they were serving. And so Prabhupada Lilamrita, we read, it's as good as reading Bhagavatam, because it's all related to Srila Prabhupada's. Like we read the life of Narottam Das Thakur or any other. So it is not different. So he says, simply by remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home. So Parikshit Maharaj is great devotee, and he knows the potency and importance of serving the devotees. So, because neophyte devotees, they think me and Krishna. They don't respect the devotees. Archaya meva haraye, Shraddhayan, what is that? Puja, Shraddhayan vitaha. Natad bhakteshu chanyeshu, sad bhakta prakrita smita. They think me and the Lord, but they don't respect the devotees. They don't know how to deal with other living entities. It's just me and the Lord. That is Kanishtatikari. But Parikshit Maharaj, he knows. Just as the atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the invulnerable sins of a man are immediately vanquished in your presence, O saint, O great mystic. So just by the darshan of a pure devotee can release one's sins, one from one's sins. Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives, just to please his great cousins and brothers. So Krishna has accepted me as one of those relatives. So Parikshit Maharaj is thinking himself very fortunate to be related to Lord Krishna like that. Otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man and not visible to us who are on the verge of death? So how is it that you have come here? It is by Krishna's grace. You have come here. So we say, what is that verse? We say, by the mercy of Krishna, we get Guru.
ब्रह्मांड प्रमिति भक्ति लता दी.
And who else did have this kind of, suddenly a devotee appears.
Narad Muni appears many times, Dhruva Maharaj.
Dhruva Maharaj. He was in the forest and suddenly, and Mrigari also, right? I mean, suddenly. Of course, here Parikshit is already a devotee. Dhruva was not a devotee, but he wanted to see Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, very much. Mrigari was not at all a devotee. So it's like causeless mercy.
Pachini Bharisat and the sons of Daksha, who he made into brahmacharis. So many. Nalkuvera Manigriva.
All of a sudden, right, they didn't desire. Nalakuvera and Manigriva were not at all desiring. Narad Muni come and curse them. But it's the causeless mercy of the devotee. So, so in our life also we should like think, yeah, we got this association of devotees, the causeless mercy of devotees and Krishna. So they come. Sometimes devotees say, well, my first thing is to get connected to the devotee. My first service is to serve the devotee because they are the ones who brought Krishna in my life. Right? Krishna did not personally come. Of course, you may say it's Krishna's arrangement. Everything happens by Krishna's arrangement. But I got my Bhagavad Gita through some devotee who came and gave me. So they say, yes, my first gratitude is to the devotee who became the. Of course, it's only because of Krishna's. Nothing happens without Krishna's will. But so in this way, Narad Muni, Prahlad is saying, right? How can I forget Narad Muni, who gave me so much, 100 celestial years? He gave me discourses on Bhagavad Dharma. Okay, so you are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die. Yeah, I'm going to die soon, so please tell me what I should do. Although previously he said he wants to hear. Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me. What I should do, what I should not do. I'm about to die, what should I remember, what should I worship? O powerful Brahmana, it is said that you hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow. So he's a sannyasi, like you can say. So they don't want to get attached. So they just make their visit very short and brief. Otherwise they can become attached. Like Raghunath Das Goswami was thinking, oh, I am standing here at the Sinha Dwar and oh, this person yesterday he gave me some food. Today he's going to come. Maybe he'll give me some food again. So he didn't want to get attached to anything. So devotee is also like a bee. It goes from flower to flower, collecting little from every place. So the sannyasis that travel, ideally they are not supposed to stay more than 3 days. That's how they say. So that they don't become attached and dependent on some person, because they will depend on the Supreme Personality of God. So that's why they do Madhukari also. Of course, in Madhukari also you can become attached. This house always gives me some dakshina, some rice, and so I will always go and beg from this house. So they don't want any kind of attachment. So they just stay long enough to milk a cow, because they're milking a cow and maybe they'll give some milk or something like that. And while they're milking, he will give transcendental knowledge. So he's saying, oh powerful, you just stay very briefly in one place. Of course, for 7 days he stayed on the bank of Ganges. Sri Sudha Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage using sweet language. Then the great and powerful personality, the son of Vyasadeva, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply. Okay, so I was going to reply Shukdev Goswami next chapter. Any comments on this one?
He's also saying that I'm begging you to show the way of perfection. So, Tadvidhi Pranipatina Pariprashna. It's in a very humble mood he's asking this, not that, no, I am already a pure devotee, which he is. He knows everything. But still he's very humble and submissive. That is one of the qualification of the student. Right? And he's respecting him and serving him and saying, begging him to share spiritual knowledge.
Yeah, like yesterday you were talking about the ducks, right, in the lecture. So one who is in the mood like of begging gets the most mercy. So, so similarly, we should always remain like begging Krishna and the devotees for their mercy. Not if we become proud and we think, oh, I know everything, then we cannot get. If proud person doesn't need, is not hankering to get anything. He thinks I'm all right. I know everything. But it's not a question of knowing. Knowing is also there, of course, that's also, we have to know. But it is question of realization. So, yeah, the great souls also know and they have realization. So when you approach the great souls and you do service to them and somehow you hear from them, then that realization comes.
And more advanced you become, more you understand. I'm so fallen. I have so many anarthas. I don't have any love for Krishna. प्रेम मेरा स्वभाव यहाँ प्रेम मेरा समान से माने कृष्ण मोरे नाही प्रेम गंध. You have love for Krishna. I don't have any love for Krishna. So please share something so I can also develop same love as you. So automatically advancement. As we advance, we become more humble.
Correct. Yeah, so you're in the Inya Bhav, so you beg. And also you beg because there are so many anarthas which I cannot overcome, Krishna. Yeah, in my heart, for as a conditioned soul, I have so many material desires and so many anarthas, Krishna. I have the knowledge, but still I am not able to. My mind is crazy. Yeah. So, Krishna, I am begging you, please help me control my mind and my senses and give me the determination. So, only when you beg like that, I cannot chant nicely, Krishna, please help me. I am very fallen. So, that is also the mood in which, and then, yeah, those who are spiritually advanced, they are thinking, as Rupa Goswami says, I have no attraction for you, O Gopijan Vallabh, nor attraction for those things that will give me taste. So Rupa Goswami is saying like that, right, in that verse. So, and we can, at least for me, I can say, oh, I have so many anarthas and so many. So Krishna, please give me the realization, please give me determination, please give me realization so I can follow this path. And yeah, ultimately we have to change the world inside us. That's basically Krishna consciousness. It's not about the outer world, but it's that like inner engineering. We have to do the inner engineering. We have to observe the world inside us, the inner engineering. Introspection and mananam, that's the introspection, mananam. And seeing how I can become pure in my heart. My thoughts, my desires. So, like somebody uses this phrase, inner engineering, right? Some popular.
Yeah.
But it is true.
Incorrectly used.
Yeah, yeah. In one sense, yeah, we have to do inner engineering because spiritual life is internal. What is where our consciousness is. So, but they don't know that it should be on Krishna. So, they are talking about inner engineering. Okay. So it is not about going to retreats and all this. It is good, yeah, you go to the retreats, but it has to result in the inner change of the heart. Because externally, we can go to kirtan and so many sadhu sangha and everything. But all this has to result in the internal change of heart. And if it is not, that doesn't mean we stop going. I'm not saying that, but that is the goal. How can my internal consciousness change? Okay, so we have to know the
Yeah, I
goal.
think wherever we go, we have to meet with pure devotees, with their, we see them and we hear from them. That's when our heart will be transformed. And also, what happens with going on retreats or getting out of your normal schedule? We have a normal schedule, right? We have work, we do our chanting and reading. There in the retreat, there is no such thing. Like, you don't have to do housework, you don't have to do work in office, right? That's like you're fully dedicating your time to, now let me see where am I in my spiritual practices and what are my faults and how I can improve. So like 3-4 days you're focusing on that, right? So like, what does Amogli Professor re-energizes us?
Charging your
Something
batteries.
charging your batteries. Yeah, charging your enthusiasm in bringing the enthusiasm back, which may be lacking in our daily grind kind of thing that we do.
Yeah, it's
So, Mataji, I have a question in that, like for retreats, for those whose situation does not allow to go on such retreats with smaller kids, then how do we retreat at home, like with, come out of the normal schedule?
Yeah, so retreat for us is also coming to a home program or going to the temple for 3-4 hours. We are on a retreat. We're not thinking of housework or other things, right? So we should do that more. Sitting in kirtans and Bhagavad discussion and arti, and we have 3-4 hours of kirtan, Christmas Day, New Year Day. That's also a short, small retreat.
yeah. So yeah, absorbing. Ultimately, it's to absorb your mind in transcendence. So Krishna. So you can have long chanting also, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and
Yeah,
absorb
that's
your
right.
mind in the holy
Yeah,
name.
like we did on Ekadashi, full day of chanting. We have another Ekadashi coming up, 31st. So you can take a retreat on that day. Tell all your family members, I'm just will be in my room chanting Hare Krishna. You manage everything. So yeah.
Yeah, with children you have to give attention, so it's a little bit difficult until they grow up and they are a little bit self-independent, right? They're constantly seeking your attention. But yeah, the children can be, when they are also, you can raise them as devotees. So then that's also devotional service if you raise your children as devotees. Because you are saving a soul from the cycle of birth and death by giving them Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is pleased, right? For him, it's your child, but actually first it's Krishna's child. So that is there also. Okay.
Yes, Mataji, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay, so we'll read Bhagavatam. So where we are in this Diti vows to kill King Indra. Okay. So Maharaj Parikshit is asking, how did the sons of Diti become demigods? Why did Indra convert them into demigods? Did they do anything? So what happened? And Shukdev Goswami is pleased because he wants to know. Like when you are eager to know, then the teacher is also very excited to give answers, right? If the student is not eager to know, and then the teacher is also not. But every time Shukdev Goswami speaks something in short, and Parikshit Maharaj says, no, can you tell me exactly? There is inquisitiveness to learn. So he was very pleased, praised his endeavor with great pleasure and replied. Shishuka Uvacha Hataputra Diti Shakra Parshni Grahena Vishnuna Manyuna shoka diptena jvalanti paraj paryachintayat. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, just to help Indra, Lord Vishnu killed the two brothers, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Because of their being killed, their mother Diti, overwhelmed with lamentation and anger, contemplated as follows. I mean, Diti is overwhelmed with lamentation. And what about all the people they troubled? So, mother's love sometimes is blind. Right? They don't know what their children are doing. Hiranyaksha and how many they. But she is getting angry. How many people did Hiranyakashipu trouble? Hiranyaksha trouble? She is not considering that. Because she is kind of infatuated, like Dhritarashtra. And or who was infatuated? This Uttanapad, right, was infatuated with Suruchi. So he didn't even say anything when Dhruva was not allowed to sit on the throne, on his lap. So this infatuation is bad. Kadanu Bhrartar Hantaram.
So, Prabhu, I was remembering, this is in Canto 3.
Yeah.
When Diti understood, Kashyap Muni said that you have done wrong and we have conceived these children wrong time, your sons would be demons, and she was crying very much. We can read those verses. He is telling already, the husband is telling that these children of yours will be big demons, they will be killing so many people. And at that time, she is repenting. But then he says that your sons will be killed by Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Diti says it is very good that my sons will be magnanimously killed by the Lord. May they never be killed by the wrath of the Brahmana devotees. So she knows. And then he says that, okay, because you have repented, one of your descendants, the sons of these Prahlad would be born, a very great devotee will be born. So, I mean, she repented for the mistake that she did, and for her own consciousness, demons were born for her, right? But here, she has forgotten everything. That, at that time she was pleased, okay, it's the Lord who would kill my sons. But now she's like wanting to get revenge. Because Lord killed his sons, the Supreme Lord. But now she's getting revenge. See, I think what this means is that, our realizations we lose. Sometimes we repent for our mistakes, right? And then later on, we are back again to what we were. We don't learn from our realizations.
Yeah. Correct. So, yeah, she became angry, and so it is saying that although she was happy that they would be killed by, but this is how emotions go back and forth. Right? Sometimes you're very this way, and sometimes you're that way. Emotions are like a roller coaster, going this way and that way. Yeah, we call it mood swings, right? Mood swings or whatever. We are affected by the modes of material nature. So suddenly we remember something, and we have some other emotions, and sometimes we have some other emotions and like that. So one should stop these mood swings and be situated steadily in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
So,
So Bhagavad Gita says, right, these mood swings come dhyayato vishyan pumsa. Where you are focusing your mind, there you will develop, feelings and attachment. So our mind should be focused on Krishna. If you're thinking of Krishna, there are no mood swings. There is mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena se. Because our mind dwells on so many other things, sense
yeah, the
objects.
problem is we pay too much attention to our mind. And we think that, oh, the mind, whatever is like it, but the mind is very the yeah, we are paying too much attention to the mind, and the mind is always going this way, that way. Sometimes it is thinking this way, sometimes it's thinking that way, and we are identifying with this mind, and we are getting into all this different roller coaster. So this mind can also hijack our consciousness anytime. That's why the spiritual people say that you should never trust the mind. The mind is not like very reliable, at least in the conditioned state. So Prabhupada says, don't trust the mind and don't think whatever your mind is feeling is what your feelings are. Of course, we identify with the mind, and that's how. But these are all coming from my past conditioning. So don't take it to my mind's desires are not my desires if they are not favorable, the soul's desires. So in this way, we can, like Prabhupada says, when you chant, where is the question of mind? You chant and hear. And of course, there is the soul has its own mind, the spiritual mind. That's what we are supposed to engage with, not this material mind, which is always going this way, that way, keeping up us in the cycle of birth and death. So we are giving too much attention to the mind, material mind. So that's why also we become indifferent. Like yesterday, I think in the lecture, Naveen Krishna Prabhu was asking about indifference. You were talking about indifference in the holy name. He was saying indifference. Yes, we should become indifferent to the mind, not to the holy name. Indifferent to material life and attentive to Krishna. That's basically what it is. These things are coming and going. So many lifetimes, we had so many, all this kind of emotions and constantly coming and going. Of course, then we say, well, can't we have emotions? Yes, those emotions, if they move us closer, if they're beneficial for us, in the long run, where they take us closer to Krishna, like you can have emotions for the Supreme Lord, His devotees, on the spiritual platform. The material platform, all the emotions are useless in one sense, because it is all coming and going, and this body, and with this body everything will be forgotten. So all these emotions are there. It's all not helping one. Of course, in distress, then you can come to Krishna. Chitraketu Maharaj was so much emotionally attached to his child, and his child died. And then he became spiritually enlightened. So, but he didn't remain in that emotional distressful situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we say about Arjun also, when Abhimanyu died.
Mm-hmm.
Then he was, you feel emotions, but we will also die. We are lamenting for somebody's death, but how long we are going to live? We are also in the same, like after some years, we will also die. Everybody has to die. So then where will you be? Where will the person you are lamenting for will be? There will be no connection at all. Somebody has gone somewhere, somebody has gone somewhere. There is no connection. So
But it happens that some people become too depressed, or that they lose their energy to, do any sadhana, come to the temple, meet devotees. They're too depressed. That should not happen.
if you are depressed, then we have to take shelter of Krishna to remove the depression. That's the only thing, right? If you are in misery, then misery, how can we get rid of misery? Is to take shelter of Krishna. Because Krishna only can remove our misery, right? So that's more impetus also when there is miserable situation, to take shelter of Krishna. Okay, but when we are depressed, then the mind says, oh, I cannot do this, I cannot. And we go into more depression, because it's like you are sick and somebody is saying, take the medicine. No, I don't want to take medicine. I'm so bad. Then you can't get cured. So, of course, we'll have emotions. I mean, we are human beings, so we have emotions. But the emotions are also because of our material desires for sense gratification. There are emotions because of that. Okay. Kadanu bhratrirhantaram indriyaraman ulbanam aklinaridayam papam gatayitva shaye sukham. Lord Indra, who is very much fond of sense gratification, has killed the two brothers, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, by means of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Indra is cruel, hard-hearted, and sinful. When will I, having killed him, rest with a pacified mind? She is holding Indra responsible for the death of her sons. She knows Vishnu killed, but Indrari Vyakulam Loke, right? We say because of Indra, supporting Indra.
And this is the same thing as Dhritarashtra's feelings, right? So much attached to his sons, and he's angry at the Pandavas and wants to kill Bhim. As Bhim killed
Actually, it
all
was
his
good that
sons.
her sons were killed because they would have caused so much havoc if they lived longer. But she's not thinking like that. That created so much. She's saying, "Oh, why were they killed?" So, if a bad person lives longer, then he creates so much trouble for others. So it's better he dies. Right? Okay. When dead, the bodies of all the rulers, known as kings and great leaders, will be transformed into worms, stool, or ashes. If one enviously kills others for protection of such a body, does he actually know the true interest of life? Certainly does not, for if one is envious of other entities, he surely goes to. She's saying Indra was envious of my sons, although his body also will go into worms as stool and ashes. So, the material body, even if possessed by a great king, is ultimately transformed into stools, worms, or ashes. When one is too attached, stool means how it is in stool because it's thrown to vultures. Then worms, when you bury the body, then it will become,
Worms eat the body.
and they will become the body of the worm. Their flesh will develop from your body, and ashes when this burnt. So, when one is too attached to the bodily construction of life, he's certainly not very intelligent. So, body is just like a vehicle, and we take care of the vehicle, but the vehicle is going to perish one day. So, what is this body which we are showering so much affection? And body is, we are trying to gratify the body, right, by uniting it with sense objects. All the senses of the body, we are trying to unite it with all the sense objects and trying to give pleasure to this body. So, of course, through the mind, one enjoys the pleasure. When the senses come in contact with sense objects, the mind is enjoying pleasure and distress. That's why Avanti Brahmana says, my mind is the cause of my happiness and distress. So, through the mind we enjoy, right? We imagine things. I stands for imagining, right? Imagine, okay, this is how, and you get some pleasure also. It's not like that. Prabhupada said that why everybody is like attracted to the opposite gender because of that pleasure that they get in that. So there is some pleasure that comes from the bodily platform. If it were not for this pleasure, then people would not be procreating and giving birth to children like that. Of course, the great souls also give birth to children for the purpose of making them Krishna conscious. But the materialistic people, they want to enjoy. There is some enjoyment in that, and that is for that they are doing. So there is some pleasure that comes from the body and coming in contact with the sense objects. And the mind imagines some pleasure, and then you get like that. But those who are on a spiritual platform, elevated platform, they are getting higher enjoyment on this with different kind of enjoyment. So they are not hankering for this enjoyment, which is the greatest enjoyment in terms of material life. This is the highest enjoyment, Prabhupada says. And for that, the whole world is moving about. Okay.
Also, we were hearing that pastime of Putana, right? One of the acharyas commented that the first demon killed by Krishna is Putana because that represents that the great first obstacle in our spiritual advancement is the opposite gender. And did you hear that? Did you in that class? Putana, like it is
Oh
woman.
yeah, the Gokul.
For
The
a male,
Gokul,
woman is the first obstacle, and
Yeah.
for a woman, male is a. So that is the first demon that Krishna killed was a female. One of the acharyas was commenting.
Harisuri, he was quoting a verse from Gokul. He was saying the network of something. Network, yeah, for that it is the. Yeah, that is the enjoying tendency in this material world. The sex desire is the root cause of our transmigration. That is mentioned in other places also. In the third canto, 31st chapter, the movement of the living entities. It is because of this attachment that we are coming in this material world. So Prabhupada says hippies have given up everything, but they cannot give up this because this is the binding force. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavametam tayor mitho hridaya granthi mahu ato griha kshetra sutapta vityar janasya mohayam aham mameti. But then all the acharyas were also grihasthas. So many acharyas were grihasthas. Yeah, so they were not like unduly attached to their children. They wanted to make their children devotees and they also desired good things for their children. But the good thing that you desire for your child, dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharata. Krishna also says, I am lust, which is not contrary to religious principles. So it is meant for procreation. And yeah, so that is also there. But yeah, if it was not for the pleasure, then nobody would get procreate. And because procreation means a life of responsibility now. You have children, and to take care of the children is not such an easy task, right? Of course, it's a burden of love for those who love their children, and they are going to willing to, but it is a lot of hard work, and it is not a small thing to raise a child because they have to become like you have to make sure the child doesn't go into bad company, is having the right association. These all things are very, very, very like difficult in America to have children in the right association and all this. So devotees go to Elachua and they have a school. So they want to educate their children with devotees, with other devotee children, so that they also become inclined to bhakti. Because after a certain time, the children are not going to listen to you because they have their own. So if you don't give them Krishna consciousness while they are young, of course it may happen out of the child's own sweet will. When he grows up, like so many of us, we were not raised in Krishna consciousness, but we started chanting Hare Krishna. So it can happen also. But many times it's like the parents wonder why my child is not, interested in Bhagavad Gita and all this, because you didn't tell them from the beginning when they were. Now they are teenagers. Now they have their own mindset, and so it's too late now. And you have raised them in a culture which is like this, and they have their friends, and so they have no. And of course, the past life is also there of that jiva. So Garbhadan sanskar was not observed. Also, so many things are there. So how they were conceived, in what consciousness they were conceived, all this affects. But yeah, so Diti thought Indra considers his body eternal, and and thus he has become unrestrained. She is cursing Indra. She's trying to find all faults with Indra. I therefore wish to have a son who can remove Indra's madness. Let me adopt some means to help me in this. One who is in the bodily conception of life is compared in the Shastras to animals like cows and asses. Which verse is that? Yasyatma buddhi
पुत्री धातु
Putri
के
dhatuke swadi kalatradishu omaichadi
प्रति
yatirtha buddhi shalilena karhichit janeshu abhigneshu sayava kokara. Now, one who considers his bag, which is made up of three elements, bile, mucus, and air, as his own self, and all the extensions of his body, like the wife, children, as his own, and who considers his place of birth as worshipable, and who goes to a holy place simply to take bath in the rivers there, but not to hear from the self-realized people residing in the holy places. It's like cow or ass. So that's the verse. So bodily conception of life has overcome everybody in this material world. Diti wanted to punish Indra, who had become like a lower animal. And that same body will leave us one day, or we have to leave this body, which will become a ash, stool, or worms. So she's thinking Indra. Of course, she's thinking because of her own attachment.
yeah, my children are good. So I think with bodily attachment, it's like I, me, and mine. These are mine and mine are good. These are not mine. So that's why more elevated consciousness is everybody is mine, or in fact nobody is mine. Both are correct. Both are simultaneous. Everybody is mine, or in fact nobody is mine. Only Krishna is mine. And everybody is Krishna's. Everybody is Krishna's. So that is sannyas mentality.
Yeah, so she's thinking here that actually she's in the bodily conception of life also, because she's thinking, oh, it was my children who were killed, my children, and she's thinking, Indra is mad. So, okay, like we heard, Kalatra Dishu. Kalatra means wife, and Adi means etc. Wife, children, etc. One who considers as my own is the bodily conception of life. So she's thinking about her own children. Oh, these are my children who were killed. Yeah. So anyway, we are criticizing Diti. Thinking in this way with a desire for son to kill Indra, Diti began constantly, and she is the stepmother of Indra, right? Because she is the mother, second mother of Indra, who is the son of Aditi. Diti began constantly. So she is also in the body. She is not thinking Indra is my child also, because she is born. Indra is born from Aditi, and Diti is thinking these were my sons, like in the first verse of Bhagavad Gita. What is it? Dhritarashtra Uvacha. How does it start?
धर्म क्षेत्र कुरुक्षेत्र समवेतायुः मम का पांडवस्य किम कुरु.
My sons and the sons of Pandu. So, yeah, he's making distinction. He's thinking, yeah, what did they do? So Prabhupada says, yeah, he's making that distinction. So of course that bodily conception of life, in some way it has to be there, because your child means who will take care of your child. If you don't have attachment to your child, then it's not like somebody else is going to take care of your child. So there is, by nature's arrangement, you have attachment to your child, so that you will take care of your child. You will not take care of somebody else's child like you take care of your child, because you have attachment to your child. So that's, in some ways it is required, because then all the children would not be taken care of by their mothers if their mothers did not have any attachment. So by nature's way, But then you think about the tiger, the lion also has attachment, the lioness especially has so much attachment to her cubs. So it is not some extraordinary thing. You are attached to your children. Oh, the animals are also attached to their children. That's why they say ahara nidra bhaya maithuna. You have your family, they also have their family. What is the difference? Samanya detat pashubi naranam. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahi na pashubi samana. So it's not something spiritual that you have attachment to your children. The animals also have attachment to their children and their family like that. But that is where we can say, oh, we bring Krishna. Animals cannot bring Krishna in their family. But when you bring Krishna, so otherwise it is a polished version of animal life, Prabhupada would say. Two-legged animals. Human beings are two-legged animals. Dvipada Pashu. Dvipada Pashu. So, because you are doing the same things as animals are doing, what is the difference? Of course, it's speaking strongly, but Niti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyap by her pleasing behavior. She wanted a son, and how can she have a son without the help of Kashyap Muni? So she wanted to serve Kashyap Muni. So maybe he will grant her some benediction or like that, fulfill her desire to have a child. O king, like Prabhupada says, a woman gets married and she wants to have a child immediately, but no, it doesn't happen. She has to serve her husband. Of course, nowadays, it is based on lust. So most of the children are begotten because of lust. So Diti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyap by her pleasing behavior. O king, Diti always carried out Kashyap's orders very faithfully, as he desired. So by submissiveness, the woman conquers the husband, right? Because by being submissive and very faithful and doing all the services, then the husband becomes conquered by the wife. Like Prahlad Maharaj says to his classmates, that in a solitary place, the wife is always satisfying the husband, the tongue of the husband, and the genitals of the husband. In this way, he becomes like a silkworm in a cocoon, becomes entrapped, right? In the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj to his classmates, he's saying like that. So this is how when you do service, and then there's a bond gets formed, and then it becomes very difficult to accept vanaprastha and then ultimately sannyas. So in one place I think it's in the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says, in I think Matra Sparshastu Konteya, that verse 2.13. No, 2.14 or 15, I think, one of those verses. The purport, he says. Yeah, 15. Okay, he says, anyone who is steady in his determination for the advanced stage of spiritual realization can equally tolerate the onslaughts of distress and happiness. Is certainly a person eligible for liberation. In the Varnashram institution, the fourth stage of life, namely the renounced order sannyas, is a painstaking situation. But one who is serious about making his life perfect surely adopts the sannyas order of life in spite of all difficulties. The difficulties usually arise from having to sever family relationships to give up the connection of wife and children. But if anyone is able to tolerate such difficulties, surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. Similarly, in Arjuna's discharge of duties as Kshatriya, I said, advised to persevere, even if it is difficult to fight with his family members or similarly beloved persons. So he has also to kill, and sannyas is also difficult to live. And here Kshatriya, he has to kill his grandfather. Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24, and his dependents, young wife and as well as old mother, had no one else to look after them. Yet for a higher cause he took sannyas and was steady in discharge of higher duties. That is the way of achieving liberation from material bondage. So we say Lord Chaitanya came to teach us Vairagya Vidya. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yogam Shikshartameka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dhari Kripam Buddhiriyastamaham Prapatye. Okay, so Diti began constantly.
Also, the sannyasi should not accept service from the opposite gender. Like as you said, that when we accept service from somebody, we become attached to them.
Correct. That's true. That's why there's a nice lecture by Jayadvaita Maharaj. Somebody asked him, "What if we see sannyasi being served by so many women?" Then he was saying that Jayadvaita Maharaj was saying, "Better, yeah, I am not the one. You should feel like that I am not, because that is how when you accept service, you become attached to that person." Because and that for sannyas order, it's not because if he becomes attached, then he may give up his sannyas ashram. So that is why it is mentioned like that.
And same goes with other ashrams also.
Yeah, in Grihastha ashram, at least the wife can serve the husband. I mean, it's under the thing. But then, yeah, it's difficult to.
Other people serving us.
Yeah.
We should not think that, let them serve me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here he says in the 331-35, the infatuation and bondage which accrue to a man or which accrue to a woman from attachment to any other object, means you may be attached to your laptop, you may be attached to your car, you may be attached to something else. That's not as intense as the attachment to the opposite gender. The infatuation and bondage which accrue to a man from attachment to any other object is not as complete as that resulting from attachment to a woman or to the fellowship of men who are fond of women. So that bondage, that's the strongest bond, and that's so here because why man is spoken, because they are speaking to men. This whole Shuta Goswami, there is no women there in the assembly. So that's why he's using men as an example. But if it was a woman assembly and some woman was speaking, then she would have replaced it with a different way. So what is considered the most like a glorious thing in material world, this attachment, this is glorified, right? There is anniversary celebration, and Prabhupada said, right, one time he went to some place where the host was introducing, this is my this relative, this is my this relative, this is my this relative, this is my son, and this is my son's daughter, and this daughter's husband, and then their children, and then Prabhupada said, he was saying, this is my sex life. He's saying, so he said like that. Of course, Prabhupada himself was married and he had 4 or 5 children. But yeah, saying like that. So thinking in this way, with a desire for a son to kill Indra, Diti began constantly acting to satisfy Kashyap by her pleasing behavior. O king, that is how the kings were killed by the Vishkanya. Right? Vishkanyas would kill the king because they became so attracted to Vishkanya. And that desire to associate with the Vishkanya was so strong that they lost their life because she would bite or kiss or something and inject the poison in the king. So it is the same thing as in Uddhav Gita, how the moth is attracted to the burning flames of the fire, and he becomes so attracted that he goes inside and he gets burnt up in the flames. So this is how the dazzling forms in this world attract us, and then one loses the desire for self-realization. Trivitam narakasedyam dvaram nashanam atmana kama krodha tatha lobhas tasmadeta trayam tyajit. So Krishna is saying that this is so anybody who can become free from lust, anger, and greed, he performs activities. Eter, what is that verse? Eter vimukta konteya. Uh, so if you become free from all these desires, material desires, then you can eter vimukta kaunteya tamotware stribir naraha acharyatyaatmana shreyas tato yati param katim. Yeah, this is 16th chapter, verse 22. So anybody who has escaped these three gates to hell, he performs acts conducive for for his own self-interest. एतेर विमुक्त कौन्तेय तमोद्वारे स्त्रिभिर्नरः आचार्यत्य आत्मन श्रेयस ततो yati param gatim. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization. Otherwise, he performs acts conducive to self-destruction, and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. But it is very difficult to become free from this, right? Because we are conditioned. That's where we have to take shelter of Krishna very tightly and strongly. Then, yeah, it is possible. Somebody wrote a letter to Prabhupada and said, I'm very affected by these lusty desires. Prabhupada says, yes, Mr. Lust is not going to leave you. So, like we say, Maya will, until you surrender to Krishna. Okay, let's read this. Maya will not let go. So, regarding your enemy, Mr. Lust, I have noted the difficulties, but we should always remember that Krishna is stronger than any demon. And Mr. Lust or his father or his grandfather, nobody can do anything provided we take shelter of Krishna very tightly. So he also says that marriage is not going to solve the question of lust. And wife should not be accepted as a machine for simply satisfying our lust. One who marries for subduing lust is mistaken, because lust cannot be satisfied simply by indulging in sense gratification. It is compared with that extinguishing the fire with large amount of petrol. Dushpurinana literature. For the time being, the fire may appear to be extinguished by pouring a large quantity of petrol. Yeah, if you put a lot of petrol on the fire, it may be extinguished, it may go down, but then it will blaze with the greatest force. But the petrol itself is so dangerous that at any time it can be inflamed. So to subdue lust is a different process. Then you have to take to deity worship. Krishna is Madan Mohan. So that is also another way. And then he says,
Yeah, Prabhupada, many devotees they mention about deity worship, subduing lust, but why Prabhupada is not telling about the holy name? Which, unless deity worship is accompanied with the holy name, it's not complete, right?
because I think, the holy name Haridas Thakur, right? So many times he says, why Haridas Thakur was able to, because he was. There is another conversation between Prabhupada, you know this, in the morning walk in Perth, where somebody is asking, then we should chant 64 rounds, but that determination is very difficult. Yeah, he says, what if the wife is like and husband is not, and something like that. Here it is given here. There is telling about chanting. So where it is here. Oh, where did it go? Yeah. How to get rid of this? Okay. So we know this. Srila Prabhupada, how can the position be reconciled if in Krishna consciousness one of the two, the husband or wife, wants to enjoy sense gratification? So this is a problem also, right? If both are not compatibly on the same spiritual platform, then one may want to enjoy sense gratification, another doesn't want. Should there be separation then? Prabhupada says, no, they should be trained up. But what if the person doesn't want to get trained up? That Prabhupada is not answering. Because there is no like divorce and things like that. But what to do? So it says sense enjoyment means not advanced in Krishna consciousness. As soon as one is advancing in Krishna consciousness, his sense enjoyment spirit will be reduced. That is the test. Prabhupada doesn't say here in this, at least this purpose, this conversation, that how much you are like, how much your enjoyment spirit, how much you know about Radha Krishna pastimes or this or that. Of course, that is also another sign of spiritual advancement, how much you are attracted. But with the attraction to all these things, this thing should also happen. Because if we say I'm becoming healthy, but my fever is not getting reduced, it doesn't make sense. So simultaneously it has to happen. This is the test. Bhakti Pareshanubhav Virakti Anyatra Cha. Virakti is three things happen simultaneously. If you are having experience of the Supreme Lord, I mean, if you surrender to the Supreme Lord, you experience devotion, and Bhagavatam has also put Virakti. So in that way, you cannot fake it up. The test is how you are advancing in Krishna consciousness, is the proportionate diminishing of sense enjoyment. That is the test. Just like the cure of the disease means diminishing the fever temperature. Of course, anybody can become devotee. It's not like even the prostitutes were devotees. So Prabhupada would say, yeah, anybody can come and bow down before the Lord. What if that fever is not being diminished? Then he should try to chant Hare Krishna mantra. 16 means we have to chant, of course, with quality also. It's not just increasing the number, but we have to chant with our mind there. That is the way. 16 round is the minimum. Otherwise, Haridas Thakur was 300,000. So you have to increase. That is the only remedy. If one has got
Thanks for the
determination.
desire. First, we should have a desire to, I don't want this lust.
Yeah,
Then
first of all, we
Krishna will help.
want to get out of the bodily conception of life, right? We want to come to the spiritual platform. That desire should be there. I want to go back home, back to God, or I should want to become free from all the anarthas. Yeah, that is chanting with heart, right? In that Radhanath Swami says, yes. When you chant, you say, I want to become free from all these material desires. That's one prayer we are asking. You are saying salt. Just add salt to your chanting. So A means asking. So you can ask. Not for spiritual benefit only, of course, that I become attracted, I get taste, but also ask for removal of anarthas from our heart. So, because you can't have both together, right? They say it doesn't go simultaneously.
Spiritual advancement and sense gratification go ill together.
But there is a way, because Shastra knows that you cannot become completely detached from the beginning. So they give a provision. Okay, you want to satisfy your desires, material desires. Okay, go through this kind of way and satisfy your.
Ultimately, through suffering, yehi samsparsha jab hoga. When you engage your senses in sense objects, ultimately you get a lot of suffering. From that suffering, you become frustrated. I'm done with this material world. I don't want it.
Or you may think, well, this thing doesn't turn out well. Next time around will be nice. That's
Punha
what.
punha charvika charvanana.
Yeah. Maybe I had a bad experience, bad relationship. Well, yeah, it was bad, but maybe the next person would be nice. That's how people get, marry one, then they get divorced, then they get married another. Because it may turn out nice also, right? It's not like that. Sometimes people are married one time and they are divorced and then they get married again and then they have a nice life. They have children and things like that. So they feel it's nice. So it's based on your sensitivity, right? How you take it. Some hope is there because we want to enjoy. So there is always some hope in the heart that okay, maybe it didn't turn out nice, but and then the world also says, "Oh, don't give up, don't give up." Like Jarasandha, right? He was bringing all the time. Krishna was defeating him. He could have got it the first time he was defeated, but his friends were encouraging him. Arey, it was your bad lucky day. It was Krishna was lucky. You are such a strong. try again, try again, try again. So he tried 17 times. Still he didn't get it. So that is also happens. Maya has defeated us so many times. But we have the hope that no, next time around it will be better. And that's so next body, again, next body. So that's why Prabhupada says when you're completely done, think, that's nothing is going to work. Of course, it can work and you can become like devotees also in that way. Like supposing somebody is divorced, right? Some devotee gets divorced from his devotee wife only. This happens like that. But then they marry again, and then maybe the thing works nicely, and they're doing Krishna consciousness together. So like that. So it can happen, but
Yeah, but ultimately everybody has to become purified of this material desire. Whether it works or not works. It may be very nice, family life. But unless you have conquered over this desire of lust and enjoyment, you will not progress. So what was the point of having a very nice family life? It's waste, it's useless.
yeah,
From
another
my
way, yes, another way to look at it is also like where your mind is all the time. That's basically your where what you are thinking and what, of course, your activities, what your mind is, where your mind is. You may be in New York, like Prabhupada was in New York, in the heart of Maya, right? But he was thinking about Krishna, and his activities were also like Krishna conscious, all the chanting. So it doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, no, that's what in that pastime where everybody was bound down to him, and Prabhupada says they are bound down because I have no lust. And then he says, it's not like I don't have lust, I don't have time for lust. I'm so absorbed that these thoughts don't even enter my mind. So, absorption, there is your mind.
Yeah, and if you have taste, then there is no question. One is to avoid something, we keep our mind busy, but we still have taste in the heart. As Krishna says, that the embodied soul restricted from the sense objects, but in the heart the taste is there. Like I am diabetic, so I cannot eat gulab jamun. But in my heart the taste is there for eating gulab jamun. So that is, but you keep away, you keep busy in eating other things or like that. But then when you get some very higher taste, then even if that is there, you don't want it. You don't say, you say no. Like our Yamunacharya, right? He says, yeah, I don't even want it. So that is even because he's experiencing higher and higher taste. So yeah, prevention is better than cure. So you prevent it first. And then when you get superior taste, then it automatically becomes spontaneous. You don't even consider, like we don't even consider eating meat. I mean, we never ate meat. Some of you never ate meat. But those who have been eating meat, after some time when they come to Krishna consciousness, they don't even think I should eat meat again. And the thought never crosses their mind because they get nice prasadam. So they get nice prasadam offered to Krishna. So they don't want to look at meat. That thought never crosses their mind. That is even higher platform. But to come to that, yes, we have to absorb ourselves. Like yesterday, we were quoting this verse, right? What is the verse?
It's from Bhakti
Syat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapya Vidya. Kintva Adar. Adar means with respect. You don't have taste, but if you keep at it and if you get taste, first you will not get taste, but you keep at it, and then when you get taste, then it's Tadgada Mulahantri. Then all the things are destroyed when you get taste from the. Okay, so we'll stop here. I think too much. 9:22. So anybody has any comments? Yeah.
I don't think you finished the purport.
Which purpose?
Previous verse, did you finish? 27, 28.
29?
Yeah, 27, 28. Previous.
Oh, okay. Thinking in this way with a desire for Sandukhi, we can constantly acting to satisfy Kashyap by her pleasing behavior. O King Diti always carried out Kashyap's order very faithfully as he desired, with service, love, humility, and control, with words spoken very sweetly to satisfy her husband, and with smiles and glances at him. Diti attracted his mind and brought it under her control. So he brought Kashyap Muni's mind under the control, under her control. When a woman wants to endear herself to her husband and makes him very faithful, she must try to please him in all respects. When the husband is pleased with his wife, then the wife can receive all necessities, ornaments, and full satisfaction of her senses, for her senses. Herein, this is indicated by the behavior of Diti. Okay, so we will stop here and then. So she got what she wanted by pleasing her, serving her husband. Of course, he will.
She was doing it with ulterior motives.
But yes. Okay, so we'll stop here. Sorry for the heavy anything if I said heavy. This is what the philosophy is. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Uh,